Big decisions are coming at FC Barcelona. With the presidential elections heating up, Barca are quietly preparing a major summer overhaul, and it starts with a huge call in attack. Will Robert Lewandowski stay on reduced terms, or will Ferran Torres be the long-term option alongside a new elite striker? From Dusan Vlahovic being linked with a shock-free transfer, to Raphinha's injury doubts ahead of the Copa del Rey clash with Atletico Madrid, there's a lot to unpack today. We'll break down why Barcelona must choose between Lewandowski or Ferran, the bold claim that Vlahovic is going to Barcelona, latest injury updates on Raphinha, Frenkie de Jong, Pedri and Gavi, and fresh controversy surrounding the Negreira case. Make sure to like, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any Barca updates. Let's get into it. Barcelona will have to choose between two forwards to retain in team for next season. Even though the upcoming presidential elections have taken center stage in recent days, FC Barcelona are continuing their planning for the summer transfer window and next season. One of the major decisions that has been made is to sign a top-level new center forward to bolster the attacking unit for next season. Names ranging from Julian Alvarez of Atletico Madrid to Dusan Vlahovic of Juventus have been touted as potential targets for the role. Ferran or Lewandowski, Barcelona must choose one. At the moment, Barca have Robert Lewandowski and Ferran Torres as their options in the number 9 role. And according to Sport, the club will now have to choose between the two as to who will act as the new signings partner from next season onwards. Lewandowski, whose contract expires on June 30th, has offered to stay at the club on very favorable economic terms. The Polish striker has several lucrative offers on the table, but is willing to accept a more secondary role. He remains a natural goalscorer, although his age is beginning to weigh. Hansi Flick holds him in high regard and will have the final say on his future, a decision that will depend largely on the veteran's performances in the decisive phase of the season. At present, Lewandowski's future appears more likely to be away from Barcelona, although nothing is decided yet. If Barcelona were ultimately to renew him for one more year under these special conditions, Ferran's situation could change. The former Manchester City player has enjoyed a strong season, but with his contract running until 2027, a decision must be taken. Either he renews or he is placed on the market, provided Lewandowski remains an option. There have been contacts, but negotiations are currently on hold pending final decisions. Ferran has scored 16 goals in 31 matches this term, while Lewandowski has netted 13 in 28. They are players with very different profiles, both valued within the club, but the Spaniard could generate a financial return, something that would not be possible with the Pole. What is clear is that Ferran wants to stay at Barcelona at all costs. He feels increasingly comfortable at Barcelona and believes he still has considerable room for improvement. His age, 25, also works in his favor, although he is aware that if Lewandowski renews, his path to regular minutes would become far more complicated, with a new arrival also expected. So, Flick and Barcelona will have to decide as to who they wish to retain between Lewandowski and Ferran as their support striker for next season. Serie A striker is going to Barcelona in the summer, claims national team fitness coach. With FC Barcelona scouring the market for a new striker in the summer transfer window, several names have been highlighted as possible targets. One such name who is reportedly being followed by the La Liga champions happens to be Dusan Vlahovic of Juventus. The Serbian international is in the final few months of his contract with the Bian Canary and appears likely to depart as a free agent. Serbia fitness coach makes big claim. Now, Serbia national team's fitness coach and one of the forward's closest confidants, Dusan Ilić, has made a huge claim about where the player will be heading from June onwards. He's going to Barcelona. That's what I think. Before going to Juventus, he had the chance to play in Spain because he had an offer from Atletico, but he chose to stay in Italy. Now it's different, Ilić told Tuttosport, Hat Tip Sport. For Ilić, Vlahovic's career can only recover if he changes clubs and finds a project where he can stand out again. Dusan loves and respects Italy. That's why he stayed so long, but now he needs to get his career back on track and try to progress, Ilić added. Only then will he return to being the classy player we saw at Fiorentina. He was top class, he always had those skills. He's a world-class goalscorer. Vlahovic is currently recovering from an adductor injury that has limited his involvement in what is a crucial season for him, with his future hanging in the balance. Providing an update on the 26-year-old striker's injury, Ilić remarked, "I think we'll see him back on the pitch in early March. And back to his old ways, scoring goals and destroying the opposition's goalposts." The injury occurred in a very specific area, which heals more slowly. Naturally, the recovery will take longer. but with the doctors and specialists at his disposal, I can say that we'll see him back soon. So far this season, Vlahovic has scored 6 and assisted 2 goals from 17 matches. Only time will tell whether he ends up at Barcelona come summer. Barcelona attacker a serious doubt for Atletico Madrid clash. Midfielder will be available. After enjoying a day off on Monday, FC Barcelona players returned to training today at the Ciutat Esportiva as preparation continues for the upcoming game against Atletico Madrid. The Blaugrana take on Diego Simeone's men on Thursday in the first leg of the Copa del Rey semi-final away at the Riyadh Air Metropolitano. No Raphinha in training, Frenkie de Jong available. Leading up to the game, manager Hansi Flick has been greeted with mixed news on the fitness front. Indeed, according to journalist Alex Pintanel, key winger Raphinha is not training with the rest of the squad today and is now a serious doubt to face Atletico Madrid. Meanwhile, midfielder Frenkie de Jong is training normally and is expected to be available for the trip to Madrid. Raphinha has been out of action for a week now, having missed the matches against Albacete and Mallorca due to a hamstring issue. It was expected that he would rejoin group training today and travel to the Spanish capital for Thursday's clash. However, things have not worked out that way, as the Brazilian international is not back working with the rest of the squad, leading to major doubts over his availability. As for de Jong, the Dutch midfielder was left out of the starting lineup against Mallorca this past weekend as he was not at 100% because of pubic discomfort. But, in a positive update, he is training normally with the rest of the group and is set to be available for Barcelona against Atletico Madrid, which will come as a big boost. Meanwhile, the Blaugrana continue to be without Pedri, Gavi and Andreas Christensen, who are all recovering from their respective injury issues. Former Barcelona coach Gerard Lopez has claimed that he did make use of the infamous scouting reports on referees, which are at the center of the biggest corruption case in the history of Spanish football. Barcelona stand accused of sporting corruption after payments of 7 to 8 million euros over a spell of 17 years to companies linked to former vice president of the Referees Committee, CTA, José María Enríquez Negreira. The club have defended their innocence against all charges. At the heart of the case is the Spanish public prosecutor's belief that the services allegedly provided by Negreira's companies did not justify the large sums paid by Barcelona. The club has also been unable to submit referee reports covering the full 17-year period in question, explaining that such documents were routinely destroyed every 5 years. Adding to the doubts, former Barcelona managers Ernesto Valverde and Luis Enrique have both testified in court that they neither received nor used any referee performance reports, and were never offered such material during their time in charge. Raphinha still didn't train with the group today, and he's now a serious doubt for Thursday. Frenkie de Jong on the other hand has trained with the group. Gerard Lopez: I received reports that were useful to me. Now though, former Barca athletic manager Gerard Lopez has claimed that he did use the reports, albeit admitting that it was an historic mistake from the Blaugrana to get involved with Negreira. Gerard Lopez has admitted that Barcelona's involvement in the Negreira case was a serious historical error, but he strongly rejected the idea that referees were bribed. The former Barca athletic coach explained that during his time with the reserve team, he received referee performance reports prepared by Negreira's son, and he found them genuinely useful from a sporting perspective. Meanwhile, several key figures from Barcelona's leadership, Joan Gaspart, Sandro Rosell, Josep Maria Bartomeu and current president Joan Laporta, have all testified in court. They unanimously denied that the club gained any competitive or sporting advantage from the payments made to companies linked to José María Enríquez Negreira. However, the case remains controversial. Javier Enríquez Romero, Negreira's son and the individual responsible for producing the reports, stated that the payments Barcelona made were not just for the reports, without explaining what the additional services were. That statement has fueled further suspicion and continues to complicate Barcelona's legal defense. So there you have it. Barcelona are heading into one of their most decisive summers in years. A new striker is coming, but keeping both Lewandowski and Ferran Torres may be impossible, and Hansi Flick's verdict could shape Barca's attack for seasons to come. Add in Vlahovic's camp openly pointing to Barcelona, key injury concerns before Atletico, and ongoing off-field controversy, and it's clear, this club never sleeps. Now we want to hear from you. Should Barca keep Ferran or Lewandowski? Would Vlahovic be the right signing? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Smash the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for daily Barcelona news, transfers and match updates. Visca Barca!